Hello, Matt here from RetroOnly.com. Today we will be talking about whether records spin clockwise, as well as answering other record questions. Before we dive into this topic, be sure and hit the like and subscribe buttons below. Have you ever wondered if records spin only in one direction? Can they spin clockwise and counterclockwise? If they spin counterclockwise, does the music and words play backwards? Are records able to play the same music and words no matter which direction they turn? In this video, we will help give you some insight and try and answer some of these questions. A record that is playing properly will be spinning to the right, also known as clockwise. In other countries, including Australia, records are actually designed to spin counterclockwise instead. You may find that some record players may begin to play in the correct direction, but then change to playing backwards. That would be a problem. So if records only play in one direction, then why are there different sizes of records, as well as different speeds? If you are confused about all these differences, then we are here to help. Why do records need to turn to create sound? Records actually don't need to turn to create any sound. You could design a phonograph or record player where the record stays in a set place and the needle moves instead. However, there are no players that currently work this way. The original record player's inventor's idea was most likely to just simply turn the record. Because simply turning the record is far easier than having the record stationary and the needle have to move. Why are records in all these various sizes and RPMs? Vinyl comes in various sizes, for the most part depending on how much music is contained on the record. A standard 7-inch single is smaller than a full-length collection since it contains less music. Additionally, small-sized records will normally be more affordable. On the other hand, there is a maximum amount of music or audio that can fit on a record before you run out of room entirely or the audio starts decaying. Putting less music on a bigger record can improve sound quality. This is one of the reasons why numerous singles intended for DJ use are put onto 10 and 12-inch records. They do this to suit a variety of music blends while taking into consideration amazing sound quality. So, should you think about purchasing old records, or should you only purchase new? On the off chance that you are going to buy vinyl duplicates of your favorite records or albums, you should realize that numerous records either were never manufactured in large numbers, or were made in small numbers and are currently no longer available. The last is particularly valid for vinyl created during the 90s through the start of the 21st century, when vinyl sales were at their lowest and CDs ruled the market. The vinyl pressing for major name collections that were released are extraordinarily hard to find and very expensive to purchase on the secondary market. However, if you have a ton of persistence and money is not an issue, you can find a great deal of this stuff on places like eBay. On the other hand, you could simply wait it out and hope that the records you need to get will be reissued on vinyl in the future. In most people's opinion, the older records will often sound a lot better than newly released vinyl. Of course, that is certainly up for debate. You can actually still purchase vinyl albums on Amazon right now. One of my favorite vinyl albums, one that's totally worth the money in my opinion, is Michael Jackson's Thriller, and it can be found by clicking the link in the description below. Will LP records turn clockwise? This is a very common question of whether LPs will turn clockwise or not. In reality, LPs turn the same way as normal vinyl records do. An LP and normal records are virtually the same, so they will both spin clockwise as they follow the grooves on the record. LPs can only play music by following the grooves on the record, so the player has to turn the same way to get the music to play properly. Most popular questions about record spinning. My turntable isn't turning. How would I make it turn? The first thing is to make sure that the turntable is connected to the control. Secondly, you will need to make sure the force/volume control handle is turned clockwise past where it begins to make a clicking sound. Thirdly, you will want to make sure the tone arm is ready to be dropped into the record groove using the tone arm switch. My turntable is turning, but there's no sound coming from the speakers. You will need to make sure that the stylus is sticking down from the cartridge. The next thing you will want to check is the volume. Increase the volume by turning the force/volume handle clockwise, as it might be too low. You should also make sure that there is nothing connected to the 3.5mm earphone jack on the back or side of the player. Lastly, you will want to check the position of the stylus to make sure that it is not moved out of its appropriate position. My turntable seems like it's playing too fast or too slow. You will need to make sure that the speed control switch is properly set for the record being played, 35 1/3, 45, or 78 RPM. If you play your record at a faster speed than the intended speed for the record, it will change how the record was intended to sound. On the other hand, if you play the record at a slower speed than the intended speed, the sound will also be slowed. Even though you will be able to recognize the audio playing at faster and slower speeds, it will certainly not sound normal. It won't damage the record to play it a little faster or slower, but it can get annoying quite fast. So, what issues could be caused if you turn your record backwards? Most cartridges are not intended to run in reverse, and it can damage the stylus unless it is a DJ record player that is designed for that purpose. If you turn the record backward, or if your player is playing the record the wrong way, not only will the record probably get damaged, but it will sound horrible as well. Some people have the opinion that if you play a record backwards, the sound that is made is of demon voices or of the devil himself. That's how bad it sounds. Is it a terrible idea to play records at various speeds? Playing a record at various speeds isn't terrible. For example, if you play a 33 at 45, it won't harm the record. But if you play a record at the wrong speed, it could possibly cause issues after thousands and thousands of plays, but it probably won't happen. Being able to play records at the wrong speed can actually be quite humorous, and can make your record playing even more enjoyable sometimes. Listening to a record in higher pitch, faster, or very low pitch, slow, is a fun way to spend an afternoon. Is it hazardous to play records in reverse though? Yes, playing records in reverse is very hazardous. Most cartridges hold the needle at one point. By playing it in reverse, you're gouging the needle into your records and will seriously damage them. Playing records in reverse would harm the vinyl, assuming your player isn't from another country and designed to play the records backwards. Conclusion: no matter what turntable you have, and no matter what speed you are playing, if the record is spinning backwards, it will almost always damage the record. No one likes a damaged record, so I would recommend being cautious while playing records to ensure it is working properly before the needle ever drops. You can purchase a record player, typically used in DJing, that can be stopped and pushed backwards if you like, but it's not really something that you need. This has been Matt from RetroOnly.com.